If you haven't been testing the heck out of your Performance Max campaigns in Google Ads, you should be. When these campaigns were first rolled out by Google, they were really sold to us as super automated campaigns where you just have to hook in your feed, a few assets, and away you go. But actually, there's so much that you can be testing with them. And don't leave it up to Google to chance. You want to have a go at seeing what's going to work best for your accounts. Here's a few different tests that we've been running here at Platypus. The first test I want to recommend is if you're an e-commerce business and you're selling things online, you want to be testing your Performance Max campaigns with the feed and also with assets, but also the feed only without assets. You can see really different performance on these campaigns depending on what types of products you've got and how visually appealing they are. Sometimes you need extra assets to show off the products, and sometimes you don't. So create your campaign, and in your asset group, create one that just has your feed connected but no assets, and try another asset group that has the feed connected and assets as well. You can also create a third asset group that just has assets and no feed in it, so you've got a few different combinations there to try. Another test to try out is audience signals. When you're starting out, if you don't have a huge amount of conversions in your campaign, giving Google an idea of who you think is going to be buying your products or your services, it can be a really great idea. You can test different things like keywords that people might type in, competitors' websites that they might go to, or different other sorts of interests that Google's already predefined. Now, it's worth trying these different audience signals when you're setting up a campaign, but it's also worth trying to set a campaign up without audience signals and just see who Google thinks you should go after. That works particularly well if you've got a lot of conversion data in your account already. But yeah, give that one a go too and see how it works for you. The next one I want to talk about is testing add to cart as an event for e-commerce brands. You're probably optimizing your campaigns based on conversions, which is a great thing to do and the right thing to do. But if you're finding that you have a lot more add to cart events and you want to sort of open your campaign up to a wider audience, you might find that putting those add to cart events in as a conversion event as well as your purchase could help Google get more data and learn faster and learn more about your users and hopefully bring you more conversions. It can be an interesting one, and there's a few things you've got to think about when you're doing this. You have to move that add to cart event into a primary goal rather than a secondary goal on your account, and that can stuff things up, like your conversion rate's going to go a lot higher, your average order value is going to go down. So have a think about what that's going to look like for you in terms of reporting. But definitely, if you've got a campaign that's doing really well and you want to spend more and reach further, try adding that add to cart event in to see how that goes. Now, the last test that I think you should be having a look at is your URL expansion. Now, in the account, when you're setting up your Performance Max campaigns, you have the option to only show ads for the URLs that you specify in the asset group, which will be the URL that you're going to put against your ads or any site links. Or you can let Google expand that out and send people to anywhere on your website. Now, this seems to work really differently depending on how detailed your search campaigns are. If you don't have a lot of search campaigns set up, then if you go through and add this URL expansion, you might find that you're going to get people sent through to all sorts of different places on your website. Now, if you've got really detailed search campaigns set up, you might find that actually your search campaigns will pick up a lot of that, and you're only going to get a few extra sorts of places where people will get sent through to. Either way, it's a really good idea if you're going to try using this final URL expansion on, make sure you exclude pages that you don't want people to go to. Things like your privacy page and your terms and conditions policies, those types of things where you might not necessarily want people to land on. I hope those 4 different experiments give you a few different ideas of different things that you can test in your Performance Max campaigns. And happy testing. I hope they go really well for you. And just remember, if you can change it, you can test it.